So seriously, the last thing I expected to be doing was making another Christmas tree. I thought I had finished all the Christmas videos, but somebody messaged me and said, do you think you could do crushed glass and Mod Podge on glass? And I immediately answered back and said, no, I don't think that would work. And then I started thinking about it, because if you've seen my other, some of my other videos, I've done crushed glass with Mod Podge on canvas. And the Mod Podge is okay on canvas because, you know, you shine up the canvas with the Mod Podge. But in this instance, you know, on the glass, I figured it would just make it all foggy and everything. And actually, I did do an experiment. If you watch the next, you'll see that this is just, it just doesn't turn out right. It's spotted. There would be no way to really clean it with the Mod Podge on it. But if you watch, you'll see how I did this. So I started with an old frame I had, and all I really wanted was to take the glass out of it and use that. And I figured, well, if this doesn't work, you know, it was just an old frame anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I just pulled the clips out, took the paper out, took the glass out, and began the project. I cleaned the glass up like I would do with any other project, and as you had seen me do with the canvas, I just dumped the glass out onto the crushed glass out onto the glass and shaped it into the form of a Christmas tree. I put it up on the 4 little cups so that the Mod Podge could drip down below as I did it, and so the glass wouldn't stick to the paper below it. And then I mixed up a half and half strength solution of Mod Podge, 1 part Mod Podge to 1 part water, and I did use the gloss Mod Podge. And I just started spooning it over it, and I spooned it to make sure it was really, really saturated over and over again. And as the glass tried to slip away, I just kept on pushing it back together. And then I let it sit there for about 20 minutes. And once the 20 minutes was up, I came back and I started tipping it and pushing the Mod Podge off of it and brushing it back and forth, back and forth. Then I put a star at the top and a piece of jewelry at the bottom for the tree trunk and hoped it would hold on. Then I realized some of the Mod Podge had dripped down and underneath the glass, so I just took a paper towel and kind of cleaned that up as best I could. Then I started thinking maybe I should have put a little color to the Mod Podge that I was brushing around the outside of the Christmas tree, because I thought the Mod Podge would dry kind of cloudy. So I thought I'd do an experiment and put a little bit of the metallic gold ink into the Mod Podge and spread that on the glass. And after I did it, I realized it was kind of a dumb idea because it's just going to make it a little yellowy. But I ended up doing it anyway. Then I ended up putting sprinkles, glitter sprinkles on the one that I had put some yellow with, and I decided to do it on the Mod Podge around the Christmas tree because I really didn't feel like that was going to turn out very good, that it would, you know, dry cloudy and maybe the little sparkles would hide it some. Well, then I thought, well, I should have waited to see exactly what it would dry like. So then I ended up getting another piece of glass and painting it just with the Mod Podge so that we would see what it would dry like without any kind of sparkles or glitter on it. So this is what the Mod Podge Christmas tree looks like after 24 hours of drying. The front is really rock solid. The back, you can see the glue, the Mod Podge is still damp at the very back. It needs to dry further. It looks like it's starting to dry around the edges. And this is what it looks like after 48 hours. It's still rock solid on the front and holding on just fine. And the back still has some wet Mod Podge on it, but you can see it's starting to dry more at the top and a little bit more in on the sides. So we'll take a look at it again after another 24 hours. So this is what it looks like after 72 hours. And you can see it's even dried a little bit further, but it's still wet and needs to dry a little longer. And you can see the jewelry piece for the tree trunk fell off, but we'll glue that back on later. So this is the tree after 96 hours or 4 days. It looks like it is completely dry. I don't see any white, any of the Mod Podge at all, and it's holding on there great. Okay, so now that you've seen how I've done it, I really like it with the sparkles. I think it turned out really nice. This is on here rock solid. So this I glued on with some extra epoxy because the Mod Podge just isn't enough to hold this on. And this one I just now glued on. So I'm going to show you how strong this is, but I have to hold on to just that top part. I mean, it is on there rock solid. And I think it turned out really cute. I love with the sparkles and around it, but yet you can see through it, and I think it looks real pretty. So now if you didn't want to do the glitter on it, after you have this set, you could probably come back with some regular rubbing alcohol and just clean all the way around the glass, and then you would have clear glass. That would be another way of doing it, and you wouldn't have any of the Mod Podge on there. It would just be holding this on. So like I said, the Mod Podge isn't enough to hold the bigger pieces on because they only have like some teeny tiny connection points. But if you look at the back, you know, there's a lot of it touching the glass, so that's why it's holding on there so well. But I think it turned out great. I hope you guys try it, and it might open some doors to do some other projects, you know, not necessarily Christmas stuff on glass too. Without using resin, you could use the Mod Podge. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Merry Christmas.